Okay, hi, this is a stitch video for my Frothy Wave Stitch, and it's a stitch video. It is not a whole project, so I'm only doing it for people who want to see this stitch and want to see a stitch video and want to go on and make something for that. If you need to see a whole project, come back because this will be a project later, and then you can look at the project video. But for now, this is a stitch video. Okay, now the yarn I'm using, this is a yarn I spun, and it's a mishmash of things because I had a lot of leftover fiber of different colors and different materials, and I just stuck them all together and carded them up and got a yarn that's thicker and thinner with all kinds of colors in it. And so my stitch looks really interesting in this yarn, but it looks really nice in a solid color yarn too, or it looks good actually with any yarn and any loom, both really thin yarn with a small gauge loom and thick yarn with a thick gauge. And so it has ridges going down like this. And the stitch, it's hard to see with this bright pattern, but it really does show the stitches too when you have a bright pattern. It really makes them all pop. And there's loads of texture. We'll try looking this way. I think you can see the ridges a little bit more going this way. So it's a really easy stitch pattern. It doesn't curl. I didn't do any treatments and it's not curling anywhere, but when you're doing it, you might want to do more than I did. I set it up so I could do a border, but I never ended up doing a border. I slipped my stitches on the side because there's a row of purl in here, and when you have a row of purl, if you don't slip your sides, it looks messy. It's just the way purl is. I'm not a fan of slipped edges, but with purl, they are the best choice, in my opinion, for an edge that looks nice and neat and matches. And the other side looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the stitch. I'm on a 39 peg. This was a custom made loom I got from Cindy Wood because I wanted to have uneven pegs. So they made me a 39 peg loom. So yeah, if you want anything made, they will do it for you. They're really good that way. And it's a 3/4 inch. Okay, and I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pegs, and this is the width I have with the bulky yarn. Okay, so yes, I am going to have a project. So I wasn't worried if my ends curled or anything, so I just cast on, went right into the stitch and slipped the edges, but you could put a little bit of a border here and here if you'd like, garter stitch or owl eye or whatever you'd like there. But it doesn't need it. It stays nice and flat, so it's up to you. Okay, so I did a chain cast on. That will be linked on my channel. And then I went right into the stitch. Okay, I did my 2 rows of owl eye and then my purl, but I'm going to start with the row of purl because that's where I am. So that's the pattern. It's 2 owl eye to 1 purl. So I'm just going to purl back. I slip my edge and I'm on the way back, and I'm just going to purl. So you just purl all the way back. It's one of the rows. And this yarn is really nice and thick, but I sure love the way it turned out. And what a nice way to use up all my leftover fiber. Because, I mean, what else are you going to do with that? But yeah, it's a mix of fibers. So it's got mostly wool, but it's got little bits of silk, alpaca, things like that. Okay, and then we're just going to purl all the way back. Whoop, and I like the way it goes thicker and thinner too. Just gives it a lot of character, an old-fashioned look. Okay, and then when you're at the end, you just go and do an E-wrap on the end and we're going to slip the stitch, and then we're going to do a row of owl eye. So it's 2 rows of owl eye, 1 row of purl. So to start an owl eye row, you go over peg 1 in a U-wrap, come back around and go over 1 and 2, keeping them nice and loose, and just knit off. Okay, and just knit off nice and loose. Over peg 1 and 2. Okay, we're coming up to the end, so go over whatever peg you're on is peg 1, you go over peg 1 and 2, and we're going to go over it once more, E-wrap on the end peg, and we're slipping it, coming back and doing another row of owl eye, so on the peg, then round again, keeping it nice and loose. And if I can keep it loose with this real thick yarn, you can certainly keep it loose if you don't have as thick a yarn. And this stitch works on just any loom with the right size yarn for it. And it never curls, so it looks great. I'm hoping I'm keeping this well in the camera. Okay. We come, and then we're going to do our second stitch in owl eye, and I'm just going to come right over and do the U-wrap. You can do it that way too. And I'm going to come back and do the purl row. So 2 rows of owl eye and 1 row of purl. So you've already seen the purl, so I'm just going to finish the row of purl, and then we'll take another look at it and look at how much it's grown. Okay, so I've just purled the last peg here. Then I do the E-wrap, and then I'm back to doing owl eye. So over once, 1 over 2, and I'll just leave it there. I'm coming to the end of the yarn. I got to attach another ball anyway, and you can see how much longer it's got. Just doing those 3 rows. I'm just going to stretch out the stitches so you can see them better, as if I finished the piece, and see if you can see them. See the ridges? Yeah, I think you're starting to pick them up, and it's just looking really, really pretty. On solid yarn, you really see the ridges, and then the owl eye stitch in between. It's a really nice stitch, but I was doing this project anyway, so I thought I'd do the stitch video with it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video and you have fun doing this stitch. You can do anything you want with it. You can do a blanket, a bag, you know, cowl, hat. It looks good in the round too. Anything really that you want. Okay, so until next time, bye.